Hello, everyone. Hello. Good evening, good morning, good day, depends on what part of the planet you are. International Dance Council, Nizhny Novgorod section of the International Dance Council, CID at UNESCO, Anahit International Arts Academy, with collaboration with Miss Lisa Anish Sutfen, we have started a very beautiful project that is called Dance Africa. Miss Lisa Anish, hello.
Hello.
Hello, welcome. Please
And
introduce yourself and introduce the program and project that you have made.
certainly. My name is Lisa Sutphin. I'm here in San Francisco, so it's 9 a.m. And I'm an educator, dance sport professional, and coach. I've also worked as an adjudicator in collegiate systems. Um, and I think we're going to be going right ahead and showing you our very first video. Many of you may have already received this in the mail. Let's move it back.
Please share your screen, Miss Lizanish.
That's right. I have to do that, don't I?
No problem.
Ah, I'll eventually get used to all of this, let me tell you.
Sure. That's for sure.
Fabulous.
Good. So the main website with what they can be more in touch, people who are very interested in such project, is the dance and fitness concept.org, right?
Yes.
I have sent it to the chat. And by the way, during our stream and after as well, after of course as comments you may leave. Now during our stream, you may discuss in the chat, forward towards us your questions. Yes, Ms. Lizani, go ahead, please.
Oh, certainly. Well, the Young Dancer Project itself began as, well, I think I'll let this video tell you that story. Let me see. Hmm.
That's a great job that you are doing, the preservation of hip hop culture, African culture.
Oh, yes.
A
Um,
great big luck, all those who are collaborating with you in order to preserve the culture. Hip hop culture is based on the African traditional and ethnographic dances. Not many people know about that. Not many people realize it. What is
all
hip
right.
hop indeed?
Thank you. I'm ready to share the page again.
Good. Share your screen, please. Okay.
Yes. All right. Fitness programs came as a result of jacuzzi at the gym next door to the School of Dance in San Francisco, where I taught training. It was a great way to deal with aching muscles. One afternoon there, I saw this woman ushering in 3 classes of developmentally disabled adults. And thought I'd step up and offer myself as a substitute when she had a need. And so this is how it began when she left the country and I took over those classes. A background in working with populations at risk had me modifying the classes to address the two largest issues as population gaps: trauma and communication. The end result was a series of lectures to day centers and observations from groups in the Pacific Rim companies that were looking for solutions. Then a letter from the offices of the First Lady of the state gave me an idea. And I started saying dance at every opportunity when working at the Y. Of course, dance wasn't the only word that I used. I combined it with dance sport, dance art, restorative dance, therapeutic dance. And then finally, in 2006, I was asked to demonstrate format design for the single district. I started teaching older adults and worked as a facilitator on the Optimal Wellness Project, keeping older adults with developmental disabilities out in 24-hour care. That program wound up being vendorized into 3 counties and ran for 2 years. In 2009, I taught a 12-week after-school series with 3 groups of 4 to 6-year-olds at the Diabla Chinese Immersion School on 8 series. Gumba Cha-Cha Chinese Tango were the subject, and we interspersed them between the team building and cultural dances. Changing that lesson every 5 minutes was the only way we managed to avoid complete chaos from taking over. That end performance was to. Following that, I moved to the Presidio location of Hawaii and started teaching all the older adult formats, adding personal training in 2010. In the spring of 2011, I got a call to advise Norman E., who was then the vice president of the San Francisco Unified School District, how to expand a little project this. When I went to observe, what I saw was 4 schools dancing 5 dances. And not packed the rafters with screaming family and friends. So I told him to put his seed money into after-school programs, and the whole thing, it took off as a perfect fit. No one needed to be told their job was not all for you to go to. This first video is from the program as it was when I first saw it.
It's the San Francisco Young Dancers Program. The program is to introduce social dancing with emphasis on Latin to fourth and fifth graders so that they have a sense of what it takes to be participating in partner dancing. Unlike other countries and other places like New York, many of our students have not been exposed to dancing. It was a 10-week program where we introduced the 5 dances to the students. For many of these kids that were participating in this program, the dancing part wasn't all that easy, and yet they overcame it. There's a sense of accomplishment when kids are interested in things, and they actually are successful at something that translate into other things. To see the joy they had in conquering that dance. What it took was a village to make this happen, and that's what we had. The people that participated with me, they had the same passion. They were willing to do their parts. That support was there from the individual school sites to administrators, principals to parents. It was a passion of wanting kids to be exposed to as many things as possible so that it's a richer life for them. You could enrich your life by learning things that you thought was only part of somebody else's culture. That Showbiz Day, I think, was a beautiful moment for everyone. The comments I received from all the people that were there, from deputy superintendent to principals to teachers to parents, they all said the same thing. It was such a wonderful program that the kids enjoyed. It wasn't just the students, but it was the teachers, the staff, and all those several hundred parents that showed up. You could see in their faces the pride they took when they saw the kids dance. That sense of pride, joy of an accomplishment, you can't take it away from them. That's what I was hoping for the kids that would participate, and that's what I saw.
And so we worked the program for 2 years until Normandy ran a successful political campaign to become the District 7. Now we're back. Thank you. So, what happened after this was a whole series of different things. We were met with mixed reception in terms of where this should go and who should do it. I've been asked to give consult and demonstrations a variety of times for other issues as well. I spent here in 2018 our efforts to get the state of California to start to offer degrees in dance became successful. And due to an older adult program that was designed, we got the approval from the Y of the USA for mentoring dance back into the social service system so we could spread it into the schools. I do have a video of that so that we could share it. And I have to keep remembering to share the screen. This is what happens. Thank you very much for your patience.
Enhanced Fitness is a class to help you stay active, to challenge you to try new things, and to lead an independent lifestyle. It really fits a lot of different groups, a lot of needs, and we modify so that if you are sitting in a wheelchair, we figure out a way to make it work. The Enhanced Fitness program is a program that is evidence-based. We start with a little fitness assessment, and in 16 weeks, we do another one. And at the end of 16 weeks, we actually get a report. And so what we see is we see improvement. We get a place where everybody feels comfortable, everyone is challenged, and everyone feels like they have a place in the class.
I was in physical therapy, which ended last December. And I talked to my therapist about what could I do to continue the progress that I had made. She suggested that I come over to the Y and get into this class.
I was diagnosed with a particular condition that meant I needed movement, and the class provided that for me.
We always start with a warm-up, and then we do some balance exercises and cardio. We go into arm and leg weights. This class is endorsed by the Arthritis Association, and so you're not having to hold weights. You can put them around your wrists and still participate. And then after weights, we have just some stretching and cool down.
My balance has improved, my muscle tone, because we're using the arm weights and leg weights. I have built some muscle in my arms and legs both.
I enjoy it. I like coming, gets my day started.
I mainly have noticed confidence, I think, in moving. And I always, walked a lot and things like that, but I fell once or twice, tripped, and then just, your confidence, you just don't feel the same. So this has helped with that.
They're my friends. We're a family, and they're involved in my life, and they give me advice.
It's a great group of people, very diverse professionals and retired people. So it really is fun.
I'm a recent widow, and so this was a way of getting out and having something I could do and enjoy. So that's really, in many ways, what I get out of it, in addition to keeping my physical strength.
We miss people when they don't show up today. We were kind of going through the people that weren't here today. So it really is important for everybody to show up.
It passed the time before you know it. An hour seems hardly enough, but it's enough, but it seems hardly enough because it goes so fast. The days that I don't come, I feel something is missing.
It's just fun. It's a community.
It's amazing what you do.
Thank you very much.
YMCA.
This program has had 3 different government studies performed. All of them came to the same conclusion. The compliance rate is 90%, which is quite a bit higher than the 56% of the current program being used by Medicare and Medicaid, which is silver sneakers. That's the next thing on the list for this program, which the Y was working concertedly on when COVID began. But then this program itself was what got us that mentorship agreement. It's spreading across the United States in many communities, over 500 systems. I'm personally stunned that it would take off like that, but also very, very happy that dance-based motion being used for people's health really helps to prove a great deal to the general public the overall benefit of dance, physically, mentally, emotionally, and socially as well. So next, I'll be showing video about Dance Africa, starting with the advertisement we put out.
I think we watched this in the beginning, no?
Oh, we did.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. By the way, we have
Well,
a guest here. Please introduce, because you know. Hello.
We do have several other videos as well, but that's all right. I'm more than happy to introduce our next guest. And let me see, I've got an introduction that I want to, here we go. Our next guest, Emil Johnson, is the man who started breaking and breakdancing in South Africa during apartheid in the early 1980s. That's 40 years ago. He is a teacher, a multiple award winner in hip hop cultural activism. He has several books published as well. And I'm very happy that he was able to make it. So please take it away and cure my nervousness.
Hey, hello. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, so I'm from Cape Town. I'm actually in Atlanta in the US at the moment. But yeah, of course, I took the opportunity to definitely speak about the power that dance has had, not only on my life, but on the young people that I've taught in South Africa. You know, it is especially, and you mentioned it earlier, ironically, that hip hop has its roots in Africa. And I just the book I just released was called Reconnect the String, which is a First Nation Bushman reference to the fact that we are disconnected from our ancestry. And so in the book, I actually show how all of the elements of hip hop culture are linked to this Bushman expression, whether it be so-called graffiti or aerosol art and the rock art of the Bushman, the storytelling of the MC, the going into trance, dance, or the break dance. And and so all of these elements that are present have a history that go back to Africa. And so I use a lot of that type of work in my classes to get young people get a sense of self-worth and pride, you know. And so over the years, we've been able to have a huge amount of young people to start dancing in South Africa. We've sent over 250 artists to international events. And also by doing that, making people realize that we have a collective power. You know, that the numbers of people that are dancing the money should be going towards dance. You know, and so as proof of our collective economic power, we actually then bought the flights, pay for the visas, take them to the embassies and fight with with international embassies to get young Africans to travel internationally. And so the lesson that I learned from this is that the young people, and especially now at this point when they're about to have the Olympics showcase breaking or breakdancing, I'm very concerned about the lack of awareness that the youth in this community actually come from a very disadvantaged economic background. And the amount of money that's going to be generated by the Olympics, my concern is that money coming back into the communities to help teach, to help development, to help grow the people in those communities so that they could actually take charge of their own economy, as it were. And so that's one of the biggest concerns. I know that it's going to happen irrespective of what anyone says, because that's just how progress works. But I am concerned that and bringing to their attention the economics attached to it. I have a bit of something. I don't know if I could share it with you guys quickly. Just run through it. I don't know. I'm new to this, so I don't know if I'm able to share on the screen
Yes,
as well.
you're able. There is an option. You have screen share, sharing the screen.
Okay, I need to find. Oh, there it is. I see it. Okay, let me just try and find the. Yeah. Let me just try and see. Are you? I need to drag it in there, I think. Now this is so. I'm new to a lot of this, so please bear with me.
That's
is
fine,
anything
no
popping up? Yeah, let me just try and find this quickly.
Yes, I may see. Oh, it disappears.
Okay. Yeah, so I have a bit of a clip that I would like to also show. Yeah, are you able to see that? Just to give you a bit of a. Are you able to see the image?
Try one more time, please.
Is that not playing?
Not yet. I don't have your screen.
Okay, let me try and get out of this again. Okay.
You have shared your screen and then you stopped sharing. It disappeared.
Okay.
I don't know why. Try one more time, please.
Something coming up there now? Is something there now?
Yes, we do.
All right. So yeah, I shared this with the breaking community, and this is just my concern about how there is inequity. There's no sense of equality, and how certain words have been just diminished. They now say that the concerns are not as bad because people don't use words like genocide, mass murder, land theft, rape, natural resource theft as well. So because they're using euphemisms like colonialism or apartheid or neocolonialism, these big words make it seem like it's not as bad as it was. And so over the past 40 years that I've been involved in this community, we, as I said, have shown people how they can get to travel to these events by using their money collectively. And in the presentation that I presented to the hip hop community, or the hip hop studies, was called "Breaking the Normalization of Appropriation of Hip Hop Culture and Dance." I tried to showcase the what is necessary economically to change the illusion of the trickle down of money. And a lot of the people that I interviewed, the dancers, were very fearful of speaking about the money because of their connection to the World Dance Sports Federation and the IOC, which is ironic because hip hop culture made over $260 billion US dollars in the last 20 years. So for them to use terminologies like, they have to get a real job, they're struggling artists, or that they have to have a backup, is proof that there is definitely a problem in people understanding how much money is actually being made. And so this chart I roughly put together. I'll just do the first three because I expanded it since. But in my research, I found that over the last 20 years, this is the amount of money that has been generated by hip hop culture. But if you look at the head CEO makes 3.6 million in a year at Sony, while the artists collectively, all of the artists, including Jay-Z and Eminem, you'll find that there is between 13 and 20 billion made out of that total amount, which leaves a staggering amount of 247.2 billion US dollars in the hands of the industry, while the artists get 5.2%. And I use this representation to show that the exploitation that's happening in dance is very similar. In the Olympics, they have generated in 2020, even though it's during COVID, 15.4 billion US dollars. The president gets 252,000, while IOC disperses or claims to disperse 3.4, this is on their website, by the way, 3.4 million US dollars per day, which works out to 1.2 billion US dollars. And then you multiply that by the 4 years, which is 4.96 billion. And you compare it to the amount that they make, which is 15, you'll see there's more than 10 billion left that is essentially dispersed to run the organization, which consists of 500 staff members. And then I also double checked with the number of top athletes, and at 20% of them get at least about 50,000 a year, while 50% get 15,000 a year. And so athletes make 6.1% against the amount that the president of the IOC makes. And it's a similar situation with dance teachers in the United States, where the majority of the dance schools make about 43,000 US dollars a year. A total amount generated by dance, and I put this in because a lot of people of color are not part of this economic conversation. The money that is generated excludes a lot of them. And if you look at the president of the World Dance Sport Federation, he makes, that's the amount of money, 4,446 he makes a year, versus the dancers who makes something like, in South Africa, they make 1,560 US dollars a year. In the United States, they make 8,400. And these are, and the example I use were freestyle dancers, who are essentially people of color, that are getting between 13% and 2.4% versus the president of the organization. So I just wanted to share that with you quickly so you can see. And then I want to add one more thing. Because of the economics that is limiting the participation, this is a picture of hip hop dance, which is also run by the World Dance Sports Federation in South Africa. And you can see that the South African white population is 8.9% of the population, but they are 90% of this team. And so this is not the, you can check other pictures online, will give you a similar example of how the poorest people, even though hip hop, and I say poor economically, I'm not talking about skill, but those people are the ones who are suffering the most when it comes to participation. And then I just want to end by saying that, you know, the World Dance Sports Federation, in their statement, they speak about to promote the sport on the strength of greater constituency, which is more bigger numbers, of the broadest demographic. And whenever demographic is used, they mean other people of color, or it usually refers to people of color, which is more numbers, and of the benefit arising from the economic scale, which is profit. And here in the Olympic oath, it says, we promise to take part in these Olympic Games, respecting and abiding the rules and the spirit of fair play, inclusion, and equality. Together we stand in solidarity to commit ourselves to sport without doping, without cheating, without any form of discrimination. The Olympics have been around for the last 126 years, and it has never been hosted in Africa. So their suggestion of inclusion is actually a false suggestion as far as I'm concerned. Then also the World Dance Sport Federation has been around for 65 years, and in this time they've only included 7 African countries out of the 54 that exist. And the last thing I'd like to add is also, if they speak of solidarity, then amidst the accusations of Chinese genocide against the Uyghur population, the Olympics is happening as we speak right now. I just want to add, the last thing is that both these organizations, the IOC and the World Dance Sports Federation, are based in Europe. In Switzerland, the 5th economically richest country in the world. And so, you know, we need to include, and this is my hope, that this is not for me to insult them or to, I'm trying to keep people accountable, that they need to include Black people or people of color from the struggling communities that are part of the organizational team, to gain the skills to govern themselves and empower the very communities and artists more than these already wealthy organizations. Because if they are based in Switzerland, the economics that they are benefiting from should be able to benefit those communities. So that's really what my main concern was when I said I'd participate and share my feeling about dance and dance power that dance has being limited by the economics and the ones that are controlling the economics. I hope you heard me loud and clear. Yeah, so for me, I think, you know, when I watch what Lisa is doing with the young dancers in Africa, I feel that the world's attention needs to be drawn to a different idea of the competition and its potential for economic development in these countries, as well as to move beyond the idea of the competition being strictly about the dance on the floor versus the dance within, yeah, and the competition within us. I'll leave it at that. We can talk a bit more afterwards. Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I would like to tell you one thing. The International Dance Council, the only official organization on dance in the world, created by UNESCO, we don't have any competition inside. Everyone is equal. All dance styles are on the same level. We don't create competitions. That's why we call you to participate in the World Congress on Dance Researches. You may represent your work, your opinion on dance, your dance style, your dance world that you have in your mind, based on the ethnography, of course. Whatever we do not do out of this nature. Whatever we do, we recreate the nature, and all kind of dances, even now time choreographies that are made, which may be called artificial, they are based on ethnography, which means based on the ancient dance. And in the ancient time, people were not dancing, they were praying, they were connecting themselves to the creator through the movement, through the free movement, and the mind of people were opening through dance, thanks to dance. Wherever the music is forbidden, wherever the dance is forbidden, it means some number of people who are called politicians, they want to stop people being connected with the creator, stop being clever. They want to manipulate the mass, just stopping them from some stuff, to have the monopoly, to have the power in their hands, just stopping people being big. So that's why I call you to participate in the programs and projects of the International Dance Council, which is not a commercial project, which is not a private business, which is made for all dancers from all over the world, for all dance styles, and people are exchanging their knowledge in dance, whatever level they have, amateur, professional. It accepts everyone. It's a big umbrella under what are in a warm space, everyone. No one is losing confidence. No one is losing some, I don't know, whatever. I think you understand what I mean. Miss Lisa Anish, please, you have some video to share with us in order to complete what you were going to say. We cut it, you, sorry. I cannot hear you. Why? Miss Lisa Anish, I don't know why, but I cannot hear you. Did you switch off your microphone? Yes.
It's on now.
You're with us now. Great.
Thank you very much. Ah, boy. This is times where I'm like feeling like I don't know the internet well enough. This is Bungoma permaculture. Bungoma is a region of Kisumu in Kenya. We've got a number of groups that we've been sending to just one institute to learn the art of the permaculture. And you can see they have rich heritage, as well as many people in the community who wish to assist this cause. That's it. Let me hit that down. And now, the Zimbabwe Project. Zimbabwe is one of our wealthier nations. They have a little more of school structure, which you will see in the next section of the clip. Their primary sport is actually soccer. And you can see they're working very hard. And now our next group. This is Nairobi. Where they have a very active school system.
Weddings typically happen on a Sunday, so that was very, very providential for your sister and her husband.
My goodness, I go to the next screen. We have a number of groups and artists that we found in these regions, the vast majority of whom teach hip hop culture and train in hip hop cultural dances. Motivated Mindset Dancers is the first group that comes to mind. I started connecting with people in Africa about, well, let's see. I started with Cesar Sakala in Malawi about 7 years ago. He actually runs a medical clinic because in that region, the largest problem there is female cancers. And then soon after that, I came into contact with Pastor Stephen Nyangesa out of the Kisumu region of Kenya. He runs an orphanage that's quite full. And he was the first person that I had in mind when I contacted permaculture groups so that they could start to work to reclaim the land. Which has been decimated, not just by climate change, but by the increase in numbers in the refugee camps that are in the region, that the government of Kenya, as well as those camps in Uganda, those are going to be dissolved by their governments coming this next spring. We're looking at tens of thousands of people who will need to have places to live, who will need to be able to eat. By going over the land and revitalizing it with its own native plant that have been raised there, these groups are forming a method of commerce, unifying the people through the teaching of the dance cultures in the area will help to attain coalition in building these communities and making them sustainable. At the same time, we start providing a road for those talented athletes and artists to move forward to the larger city areas, so we can move them forward to bigger and better things if that is their desire. And this does include hip hop and breaking in the Olympics. Now, as the pivot point between the World Dance Council and the World Dance Sport Federation, the first job that we have is broadening the base in order to reduce the intense competition and capitalism that's been going on. Second is to urge these groups to restructure so they can better interact with community partners, which they haven't had before. And they can start to resolve their differences that way. What has happened with the attempts to acquire breaking and literally lift it out of its soil of hip hop culture, I've been seeing firsthand. I've been seeing a lot of the destruction that the goal of dance sport competition has brought in terms of corruption within the system. And there is a lot of corruption. The typical streams of nepotism, cronyism, rampant misogyny, racism, money laundering, trafficking of people from one country or state to another to wait out warrants for their arrest. All of these I have seen. I myself have witnessed some of the strong arm tactics, as well as self-dealing. And of course, as a competitor, I myself was prone or victim to assault, simply because I'm going out and trying to find that dance sport partner. And having wonderful dancer after dancer say that they would do it if I got on my back. These are things that we see commonly when capitalism takes over and takes precedent over the art and the health and the true wealth of these cultures. Capitalism decimates them and sells the parts off. And ultimately, it all flows away. We've already found a number of dances that have been hidden in the cracks and crevices of this country, working hard to stay alive so that they can pass all of this on, as this culture is the very identity of man. And men and women and children from all regions, all backgrounds, all shades and tones. There is no nation that does not have culture and dance. So with that, looking forward to questions that people may have or wish to address. I want to thank Emil for showing up. He's one of 3 people that I asked to come here.
No problem. I was thinking maybe to try and just show some of the stuff that that's on video of the kids that we've worked with, just so they can get a better idea of like the amount of practice. I'll try and share it again, so try to figure this out quickly. So I'll try and get a couple of the
First
footage.
First of all, Ms. Lisa Anish, thank you very much for highlighting this issue. I think we need some other meetings as well where we can describe more and more, and some other participants as well, in order to find out the solution. because we talk about the problem, we talk about that it exists, we talk about that it harms the confidence of people. And the thing is
Yeah.
that we need to find a solution for that without harming, though it harms the dance, it harms the nation understanding of
Yeah.
culture, but we must do some actions, and we can
Yeah.
do it if we are together, if people
Yeah.
are together. Miss Liliana Cuto, hello, hello from Argentina. Hello, Miss Liliana, thank you for being with us, and we're looking forward for the video.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would just add that, a lot of the times the problem is that the people have their very limited view of what it is. I don't know if you're able to see. I'll try and share quickly. Um,
Yes,
are you able to see
moment,
that?
please wait.
Hit the share button at the bottom of it. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. All right. So this is how we go out into the different schools and actually get young people to participate by just having conversations.
Oh, the happiness of kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that one of the initiating classes, the guy speaking actually now works for the organization, him and a few other older kids, and then we expose them to their tradition by blending hip hop culture with traditional dance, and this is a production that we did called Mixing It Up. So this is Kramp and traditional Zulu mixed together. This is a different dance style as well, where they get to experiment and blend to gain a sense of self-worth, because this community is very removed from their heritage because they are mixed.
Yeah, definitely. I can feel that we definitely need another meeting, Miss Lizanish. More detailed, more longer, with more discussion. You know, when
Yeah.
I'm watching the hip hop dance, this is parkour. Some
Sorry.
kind. This is parkour, right? Some kind of parkour.
Yeah, this is.
Brazilian.
Yeah, there's a mixture of like capoeira and the different dance styles that we blended together. So it's called Mixing It Up. And
Uh-huh.
this is a traditional South African dance mixed with breaking, And so like and just one last thing to show you. This is my brother that still runs the organization in South Africa, and I just want to show you that we had a group of young men that we gave the opportunity to actually be on an international platform. And this is the event called Battle of the Year. So they are, a lot of them are now doing this full time. They are full time dancers earning a income from their ability, their skill, and yeah. So I'm trying to go back and doesn't want to. Where am I? Trying to. There we go. Let me unhook.
Thank you
Am
so
I
much.
back? Yeah, there you go. So I completely agree with you that the one thing that a lot of us, and it's not just myself, there's a lot of people that are involved in dance throughout the world, that are looking for an alternative because they've become tired with the one like competition style version of the dance, and ignoring the power that the dance has is to change people fundamentally, as human beings, there are many of us, and it is about time that we try and find alternatives and different ways of dealing with what we are faced with.
Competitions are very interesting thing to discuss. First of all, it's a subjective opinion of each jury member. They don't have, each of them have their own knowledge in their own dance styles. For example, in Russia, there is a big problem if me with my Armenian dance company going somewhere, they judge it on the level I like it, I don't like it, because they don't have any knowledge in Armenian national dances, for example. Thus, there is no use even to talk with such people who are organizing competition because their aim is to earn money.
Yes.
That's all. They don't care about culture. They don't care about history. They run sometimes. There is so much corruption that the grand prize can be taken by someone who is paying. So all this background and underground stuff, from what a mass of people is tired. That's why competitions became festivals, and they continue thus there. Anyway, I think we need to meet one more, two more,
Yes.
three more, many more. Miss Lisa Anish, thank you so much
There
for
are so
highlighting these
many different
problems.
sections to this thing.
Yes, yes, it's super rich, super colorful, and I enjoy listening to you. And it
Well, and I would
needed.
love to work with Emil so that we can better explain the different layerings of what occurs when capitalism in art and sport takes over from the
Yeah,
activities themselves.
and I think also just if you have more space for young people to say how dance changed their lives, because I think that sometimes all the focus is on the winner, who's the minority, and very little focus is on the thousands of people whose lives have forever changed because they stepped into the middle of the circle, they danced, they let themselves go to the music, they went into trance and enjoyed themselves. So I think those voices need to be amplified instead of, and I mean, I don't mind speaking about capitalism, but there's enough people speaking about capitalism. I think more of us need to speak about the power that dance actually has to change lives for real, not just just because
Yeah,
you're the
we will
winner.
focus ourselves to the International Dance Council and the official actions. I would like to finish our meeting for today and looking forward everyone to meet next times. It was a great pleasure to talk to all of you. Thank you